This week on the County Line, we cast a line as trout season began last Saturday. We'll find out just how many people would rather be fishing.
And how do you get to your favorite fishing spot? You drive on the road, of course, but the season's potholes may have made traveling a little bumpy. Tonight we'll find out just what kind of damage potholes can do to your car and what you can do to prevent such damage.
The roads aren't the only thing that's bumpy. Last November's elections in Mercer County had a few bumps of their own. Dr. Thomas Rookie joins us in the studio tonight to tell us just what went wrong and how a new Scantron system will remedy the situation. We're live.
We're local.
The County Line starts now. A busy day last Saturday. In addition to trout season opening, the American Cancer Society held their annual Relay for Life at Bury Stadium.
Coming up, we'll let you know how many people showed up for the event and just how much money they raised. Good evening and welcome to the County Line. I'm Mike Walensky.
And I'm Elizabeth Farry. Local firefighters spent last weekend fighting 55 grass, brush, and forest fires. To help cut back on such fires, Lawrence County commissioners imposed a 30-day ban on outdoor fires in barrels or on the ground within the county. Fire officials will enforce the ban until the end of May.
This is the first official week of trout season, and according to the Pennsylvania Fish and Game Commission, opening weekend saw a low angler turnout at most creeks and streams in Lawrence County. Lawrence County and Mercer County have about 20 streams, lakes, ponds, and reservoirs that are officially classified as approved trout waters. Regular trout season ends September 5th, and the extended season runs until December 31st.
The beginning of trout season is quite an event in our area. People come from all over to fish in local streams, hoping to catch that prize-winning trout. But not all creeks are packed on the first few days of a new season. I went to Volant this past weekend to see what kind of crowds went to Neshannock Creek for opening weekend of trout season. Not all anglers like to join the rush of opening weekend. Pete Casper comes all the way from Pittsburgh to fish in Volant. He finds that this area is the perfect place to enjoy fishing while avoiding the crowds of season openings.
I never go out opening day just because of the crowds, and then we come up here during opening weekend because there's usually less pressure because everybody's up at their camps or further up north for the whole weekend, so there's usually not as much pressure up here in Volant during opening weekend.
While there may not be many people here now, those who do come to Volant to fish say this is one of the best spots around, especially during opening weekend of trout season, simply because there aren't many people here. Neshannock Creek in Volant has delayed harvest fishing, meaning you can fish year-round, so the area doesn't get as crowded at the beginning of each new season. Pete wasn't the only angler to take advantage of the quiet creek last weekend. There were a few other enthusiasts who had the same idea. And as for the crowds, they stayed farther down the creek where there isn't year-round fishing. But if you ask Pete, he thinks Volant is the perfect place to fish, no matter what time of year it is.
It's a stocked stream, so it's pretty easy to catch fish up here, and with the amount of pressure that most of these streams get, it's hard to find a spot to have a lot of success, so that's why we come up here. It's usually a pretty good guarantee that you're going to catch some fish.
So Liz, did you catch anything?
No, I actually didn't get to go fishing, but I went with my friend Amy, and they actually give you fly fishing lessons. You can get them there.
Oh,
we were so excited. We were like, we have to learn how to do that.
That would be a fun time.
It looks like
definitely
fun.
Something to look into.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I think. The 8th annual Relay for Life was held at Westminster last Saturday. The event raised $22,000 for the American Cancer Society. The County Line's Leanne Veris was there to speak with some of the cancer survivors who attended the event.
I survived cancer. I survived breast cancer, and I'm Jody Kind.
My name is Carla Van Dale, and I'm a cancer survivor. I'm Jean Gillum, and I survived cancer.
The community of New Wilmington and Westminster College are gathered here at Bury Stadium to walk for a great cause. This is the 8th annual Relay for Life, and as you can see, dozens of people have shown up for the event, including 28 survivors, and we've had the chance to speak with a few of them today.
My name is Joan Grimm, and I have had breast cancer. I had a mastectomy in August of '91. I had my surgery on my sister's birthday, so I won't ever forget that. Really, when you're diagnosed, you feel like an elephant has kicked you in the stomach because you think it's never going to happen to you.
My name is Tom Lewis, and I've been coming to the program here for about 8 years or more. And I had prostate cancer, and that was about 11 years ago. And it was a shock to me because I was very athletic and in real good shape and all, and such, and I thought perhaps nothing would, come along that would be a problem.
My name is Jane Kaminsky, and on March 15th I learned I had breast cancer. So it's just about a month ago. But you meet some wonderful people.
Having cancer, I think, is something that all survivors would agree. It changes your life. Every day is precious, and all the people that you love and love you become much more important to you. I'm just very thankful that.
The Brothers of Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity have headed this event for several years. We actually had the chance to speak with Quay Rosengarth, who is the chair of the event this year. He tells us what his expectations are for the day.
Well, our goal today is 25,000. That's about 3,000 more than we made last year, so hopefully, we'll reach our goal. We have a good crowd here. We have just about as many teams as we did last year. We're right around 45 teams, so hopefully we'll reach our 25,000 goal by the end of the night.
And I appreciate the support, that you people put in and the time and let's say the effort that you have here to raise money, for the cancer cause, and it's fantastic, and I think everybody here really appreciates it.
A couple minutes ago we had the survivor walk. My grandpa walked. A bunch of people here were survivors. We had about 20 survivors or so come and walk, and it's all for them. I mean, that's why we're here. We're here to raise money to help find a cure, and every little bit counts, and hopefully our little bit counts a lot. So.
From breast cancer survivors to prostate cancer survivors, it doesn't matter who showed up at the event. What matters is that they did survive and that they're walking to help others as well. I'm Leanne Varys for the County Line.
Well, Liz, Relay for Life definitely brought out a lot of people, but it wasn't the only thing that was going on last week.
That's right, Mike. The County Line's Pat Sandora is here with this week's 88.9 on the County Line.
Titan Radio Digital 88.9 News brings you local news now.
Good evening, I'm Pat Sandora with this week's top local stories on 88.9 on the County Line. Local motorists can expect some extra slowdowns in New Wilmington for the next few weeks. Workers are doing some minor road restoration projects throughout the borough. Right now, traffic along Route 208 is down to one lane while workers replace a water line. Local workers will continue to work with similar projects until the state crews step in this fall. Over in Mercer County, medical officials are keeping a close eye on inmates and staff at the county jail. Officials conducted examinations this week after 3 inmates came down with drug-resistant staph infections. Staph is a bacterial infection spread by contact with an opened wound. Jail warden Jeff Gill says 1 inmate is currently in the hospital while the other 2 remain in medical isolation. Some possible good news for thousands of Western Pennsylvanians working for U.S. Airways. The airline is in talks to merge with American West. Industry experts say American West is also considering injecting $100 million into U.S. Airways to save it from bankruptcy. And with the weather warming up, some of the area's furry friends are coming out of hibernation. Pennsylvania is home to roughly 15,000 black bears, and the bears will soon begin searching for food, which could make them a nuisance to locals. State Game Commission officials say there are some easy tips for bear safety. Keep your distance if you see a wild animal. Don't put garbage out until collection day, and most importantly, don't feed the bears. That was your 889 on the County Line, and to stay up to date with all your local news, tune into Titan Radio for continuous news coverage. Stay tuned, there's more County Line on the way.
It's pothole season in Pennsylvania, but our roads may not get the repairs they need. Governor Ed Rendell has developed a plan that will take money away from the highway and rural road upkeep budget. The plan calls for other state agencies to get $334 million that was originally intended to go towards rural road upkeep.
So just what kind of damage can potholes do to your car? Let's find out tonight with the County Line's Heather Storm.
It may be April, but the harsh winter weather is still taking its toll on our vehicles. The snow may be gone, but the potholes are still left.
Just the other day, a woman hit a big pothole down here by the college, right down here by the parts store. Had to send a guy down. It bent the wheel bad enough where we had to change it and put the spare tire on it.
Local roads like Neshannock Avenue and Route 208 have been most notorious lately.
But usually most of the time it's just, well, vehicles today will take the holes pretty good, before it actually damage it where you can't drive it.
Meyer says even if the damage isn't bad enough for you to come and seek automotive assistance right away, your car still suffers wear and tear from the potholes.
Well, yeah, potholes are hard on the car's steering suspension. Each time you go down in a pothole, a car's not really designed to, drop down in the road 6 inches and bottom the suspension out on it. Really, prevention's just paying attention. If you see a hole coming up, in front of you, maybe slow down, try and get around it.
For more assistance with pothole damage to your car, you can contact PennDOT. From Lawrence County, I'm Heather Storm for the County Line.
Well, PennDOT officials say they try to fill in all potholes as they appear, but they admit it's hard to fix all of them. PennDOT encourages drivers to call 1-800-FIX-ROAD to report potholes. The operator will connect you to your county's maintenance office, and once PennDOT workers have the exact location of the pothole, they'll send a work crew out to fix it as soon as possible. The number is toll-free, and they'll even give you a follow-up call if you leave your name and phone number. So while PennDOT is busy fixing the roads, Mercer County is trying to get their election results back into shape.
Yes. Last week, Pennsylvania officials banned the Unilect Patriot electronic voting system due to an error in vote counting. This week, the same officials may lift the ban pending a second test of the system in Harrisburg tomorrow.
And the Unilect system was used in Beaver, Mercer, and Greene counties. State officials had promised to pay for a replacement system for these counties to use in the May 17th primary.
After last November's electronic voting mishap, Mercer County will use a Scantron system for next month's primaries. Director of Voter Registration, Dr. Thomas Rookie, joins us in the studio after this break.
Stay tuned as the County Line continues.
Okay, girls, at 3 o'clock.
What is he looking at?
Oh, dude, it's so obvious. Captain Obvious has scored again. Open your window. Say something.
Oh, he's really gonna down.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Thank you. Honey, finish up. Come on, we gotta go.
Ew.
What's wrong?
Something's on my glass.
Oh, it's lipstick. Excuse me, ma'am. Could we just have a new glass, please? This one's dirty. Thank you.
Mom.
Honey, I don't want you to get sick. I don't know what's on that glass.
Oh, have me one too.
Hey, you want a soap to be in?
Yeah.
There you go. There's some honey right here, too.
Picture yourself at Westminster College. Westminster offers an educational experience that is second to none. We've been exceeding students' expectations for 150 years. Westminster combines the prestige of a national liberal arts college with the personal attention you deserve. Westminster is a national leader in graduation rate performance and is the most affordable national liberal arts college in Pennsylvania. Visit Westminster's beautiful 300-acre campus to experience an ideal learning environment. Succeed at Westminster College.
So what's easier to use, a computer registration voting machine or Scantron SAT #2 pencil away? Earlier today, I went out into town, into New Wilmington, to see what people thought was the easiest way. And right now in the county comment, you're going to find out what people had to say.
I've never tried Scantron. Is that the pencil? Oh, that's the pencil. I'm from New York, where we always voted in a voting booth with levers, and you actually go in a voting booth, you click the levers, and you pull the handle, you hear the click, you know you've voted all your whole slate. When we moved here and it was pencils and paper like that, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was Little House on the Prairie. I haven't tried the new technological way because in my district we haven't had those electronic yet. They're still doing pencil and paper, but I'm ready for the new technology.
Electronically.
Why?
Just easier.
I'm not familiar with the technology, so I can't address that. I just feel comfortable with the paper ballot.
And how so? Why do you feel comfortable with it?
It's physical. You can see it. You can touch it. You put your mark on it. It's there.
Well, I'm from the Pittsburgh area, and I'm used to working with the machine, so that would be my preference.
Tell me why you prefer that.
I guess because I'm used to it. That's what I've used all my life.
I've
believe so. We do so many transactions online, banking, all kinds of information, important information goes back and forth online, so why not that as well? It's probably more accurate than anything that the human hand touches.
Probably the SAT Scantron, because I'm not real good with computers. I voted through absentee last time. It was kind of easy to decipher. So probably the SAT version.
So joining us tonight to talk about the problems in Mercer County with voting is Dr. Thomas Rookie, and he is the director of Mercer County's Registration and Election Bureau. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Sure, this is great. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad you are. Why don't you start out by explaining to us what actually went wrong with the computer technology system Unilect?
Well, you really had two or three things operating at once. First of all, the hardware apparently failed in some of the districts, and then there was a coding error because they added a special party which was in only part of the county, so some of the districts had to have a straight ticket that was what we know, but some of them had to have a straight ticket that was different, and that got intermixed among the hardware. So you had two different kinds of software competing. And then the other big thing is you had a huge turnout, twice as many people as had been out in any election in the previous 3 years. Of course, that's when this hardware was there. So all of a sudden you had this flood of people who had never seen the equipment before and sort of went, what?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Well, now, are you still using the Unilect software? Or is that
we are not. At least for this primary, and I hope for the fall general election, we're going to use an OpScan based. But you have to know, it's not OpScan. I was interested in your interviews. That was great out on the street. It's not OpScan like you fill it out and it comes. These OpScan, we're talking about ones where we will run them at 8,000 an hour through one piece of equipment. We have 4. We can do 32,000 an hour. And they're all hooked up to computers, so all the results will be being tabbed and directly onto our website, so that, for instance, you're probably going to be able to see Mercer County's results by 11 o'clock at night.
So this is actually even better than doing it the new technological way with the Unilect.
Well, what you've done is you've taken here and you've made blended technology. You've got the new technology, it's computer driven. But the people who are comfortable with the mark, they can see and make and know it's there, and that we can go back and check if you have a problem in a precinct. That's happening. So what we've done is we've blended the computer and the pencil. I think that's kind of neat.
I think it is too. Tell me this. What's going on in January? You mentioned earlier that there's
the new federal regulation. Yeah, it's called HAVA, and it's really important because it's going to affect every single state in the country. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you are. But it says everything is going to have access to everybody, so that in every precinct there'll be a machine now that can be used by people who are blind, people who are deaf, hard of hearing, hard of sight, people in wheelchairs. And those machines, I think you're going to find, if you've got some of your old and those, you're going to find everybody like you going to those real quick, because they're going to be so much easier to use and so neat and so graphic.
That we're all going to want to use.
You're all going to want to use it. The other thing I mentioned to you was also the polling places are going to have to be accessible, and a whole set of rules. And I think polling places all over America, right here in Lawrence County, Mercer County, some of them are going to be shut down. Some of them are going to change. You got a really neat church. It's a great place to vote, but it's only got stairs, no ramp.
So you can't use it anymore.
Can't use it anymore after January 1st.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's going to change a lot. Well, let me ask you this now. If you are using this new blended technology, is there going to be a paper trail? Or will people be able to get a receipt at the end?
There'll be, well, yes and
iffy
okay.
question.
Okay. People will get a ballot like this, and that we'll have, so I'll have, after everything's run through the computer and everything, I'll have these so I can pull them out. But in addition, on the bottom, Catherine, right?
Right.
When Catherine leaves, Catherine is going to get a stub that says she was voter number 863 out of 59,000. And she's going to have that as absolute proof that she voted. But also, we'll know that 863, which precinct and which machine it was cast on.
So it's just my number, so nobody else can have
Your number and no one else.
I see.
So we'll have trails in that way. A lot of people think paper trails means that they fill out a ballot and then they leave with a copy.
No,
That's not
it's
legal
illegal
anywhere in America.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Rookie, for coming on tonight. We really appreciate it. And if you want to learn more about how to vote, just go online to www.mcc.co.mercer.pa.us, and that'll get you there. And again, thanks for coming, and
Sure.
stay tuned for more County Line after this.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
The Lawrence County Humane Society believes in the safety of spaying and neutering your animals. Spaying and neutering can have many long-term benefits.
We at the Lawrence County Humane Society believe that all animals should be spayed or neutered. Many reasons why, but the biggest reason is that they will be a happier, healthier pet. Also, it alleviates the overpopulation problem.
Getting your animals spayed and neutered is one huge step in making sure that more animals are healthy and find loving homes.
I'm the best thing you ever had. Only thing I'm guilty of is giving you too much love, making you crazy, making you rap, making me fall, making me suspect. Seem to think I'm playing her game. Don't you know her? This is me.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
Welcome back to the County Line. This is Titantown Sports, and I'm Sebastian Driver Salazar. As we wind down the academic year, we've got our Titantown Sports Titan of the Year award to hand out, and somebody's got to win it. The nominees are from the PAC champion women's soccer team, a first-team all-conference pick goalkeeper Nicole Drummond, sophomore swimmer Ryan Trunk for his All-American performance at last month's national meet, the entire Lady Titan basketball team for their amazing run through the PAC and NCAA tournaments, and finally, from the football squad, Tony Ventresco, who was named honorable mention All-American by D3Football.com. You can vote by emailing drivers@westminster.edu. We've got 1 week to tally the votes, so make sure you get them in no later than next Wednesday night. They won't be shutting down trout season anytime soon, as the annual spring ritual got underway with a bang last Saturday. Reporter Justin Egley was up bright and early to give you a fisherman's look at the opening of trout season.
'Twas the night before opening day, and all through the stream, huge fish were swimming. Well, at least in my dreams. The alarm goes off as it's time to wake up. It's time to take a quick shower and have my morning cup. The day, it's April 16th, so you better get out the gear, because there's only one thing to do this time of year. The sun is up, and the weather, it's nice, but the water, it feels as cold as ice. Oh, my lucky cap, I can't do without. I'll catch a big one now, there's no doubt. I put on my waders, I tied on a hook. I watched all the TV shows, and I read all the books. Now all are awaiting the time of the first cast. I look down at the water as it looks to be glassed. What time is it? It's 7:59. Only one more minute till I make these fish mine. The first cast is out, but suddenly, just then, I look at my rod as it took a slight bend. I yank on the line in hopes of a trout. Oh, it's a big one, I began to shout. I reel it on in, I get it in the net. Once my dad sees this one, he'll wish he didn't make that bet. But the day is now over, as my stringer is now full. I'm 20 bucks richer. Huh, my dad, what a fool. But you ask me why I fish. Do I fish because of lust? I say, not so, my friend. I fish because I must. For the County Line, I'm Justin Egley.
While Justin was out fishing, the Titan baseball team was working on a 3-game weekend sweep of PAC rival Teal. That series win seemingly put the Titans in control of their own conference destiny. But since stepping out of the PAC this week, the Titans have run into some trouble. It started Monday with a 29 loss to NAI school St. Vincent. Evan Triplett took the pitching loss for the Titans, whose path didn't get any easier. Tuesday, as Westminster went on the road to Allegheny, widely considered to be amongst the better teams in the nation. And hey, the Titans almost pulled the upset. Westminster doomed by 4 errors in a 6-5 loss. Brenton Gilmore and Craig Hannon pitched extremely well, and Brad Hawkindonder smashed a 3-run bomb as the Titans' record fell to 16-7. A couple scores from today. The Titans fall 7-2 at Hiram, so that's 3 non-conference losses in a row. And on the softball side, The Lady Titans have done a nice job as they win 2 against Teal. Now, not all the news bad from the baseball front. Eddie DeRose named Baseball Hitter of the Week. What did Eddie do? Bat .524 with 3 RBIs and posted at least 1 hit in all 6 Titan games last week. Congratulations to Eddie. One of the main reasons the baseball team is enjoying such a successful season is their depth. Titans have a ton of guys who can mash, and the pitching staff was held up really well. One of the key parts of that depth is junior outfielder Steve Brink. Reporter Shannon McLean caught up with the Titans speedster in this week's one-on-one.
I'm here with Steve Brink, junior outfielder on the Westminster College baseball team. Steve, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Shannon.
You're welcome. I'd like to ask you a few questions. How long have you been playing baseball?
Well, actually, I started playing baseball when I was about 4 years old. My parents got me into it when I was at a real young age, and I used to play on like T-ball teams and stuff. So I've been playing pretty much my whole life.
Cool. Now, what do you like about baseball? Why have you been playing it for so long? Is it the discipline? Is it what is it that keeps drawing you back to the game?
Well, I think the main reason is that I just love competing. No matter what sport it is. But baseball just seemed to be something that I was always pretty good at. So I kind of kept playing all these years. And like I said, I just loved competing and love going out there and playing. And there's not one thing I love particularly about it, but just the game in general.
Cool. Now, how is, one thing that everybody wants to know, how is the team doing this year? How are you doing as a player? How's the team doing as a whole?
Well, the team's doing actually really well. We're 16-7 as of right now, which is pretty good. Last year, we only had 18 wins the whole year, so we've almost equaled that mark already this season. We have like 3 weeks still to go, so we're doing very well. We're 7-2 in the conference, which is we're in first place right now, so that's good. And if we have some big games coming up this weekend, and if we can win those, we're probably going to host the conference tournament, which is going to be held graduation weekend, so that would really be cool.
Okay. Cool. Great. Okay, well, I wish you luck. I wish the team luck. And thank you for coming. And we hope to see you on the county line again.
Well,
we'll be cheering you on. I'm sure there's lots of people that go to the games.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. More county line on the way, and I'm Shannon McLean for the county line.
The big games that Steve Brink was alluding to next Saturday against W&J. That's a home series. If the Titans win, they will host the PAC tournament. Before we dip, I got to let you know what's going on next week because there's a lot. Saturday, Justin Egley will be reporting on the Pittsburgh Passion women's football team, and Sunday we'll be at the New Englander for the Lawrence County Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. Look forward to those stories and more next week on Titan Town Sports. More County Line coming up after the break.
Crackhead, drug dealer, gang member, all kicked out of the community with the help of kids
like me.
You can help prevent crime. Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out how.
It's time we're judged by what we do,
not how we look.
Hi everybody, this is Tim McGraw for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. I spend a lot of time on the road and I see some funny things out there, but one thing that's not so funny is someone who's about to drive drunk. So take the keys and be a friend, because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
I wasn't going to school because I was making money stealing cars. Well, I was 10 when I first got involved with drugs. I skipped school because, nobody cared.
When I first got pregnant, school was not important to me, so I dropped out.
Well, if I don't finish school, then I can't go to college. That's the whole point of what I want to do with my life.
I still need to go to school to make it for myself.
I think I'm happier now. I know I'm happier now.
That does it for this week's edition of The County Line. Join us next